She is one of Australia's most recognisable faces, but very few people know how hard-won her place in history truly was. This is the story of Mary Reibey, the woman on the $20 note. Mary was born in England in 1777. Orphaned young, she fell into a life most of us wouldn't choose. At 13, she was convicted of stealing a horse, while dressed up as a boy just trying to survive. For that, she was sentenced to transportation to New South Wales, 7 years as a convict. In 1792, she arrived in Sydney, a young girl in a rough, unpredictable colony. But Mary wasn't full of excuses. She adapted, she learned, and she worked. Later, she married Thomas Reibey, a former officer turned trader, and together they ran a small shipping business on the Hawkesbury River, carrying goods between farms in Sydney. When Thomas died in 1811, Mary didn't retreat. She took full control of the business, commanding ships, negotiating contracts, buying and selling goods, and expanding into warehousing and property. She opened a warehouse in George Street. She bought more vessels. She built trade networks. She built respect. And then came a moment that shows just how central she had become to the colony's economy. In 1817, the Bank of New South Wales, Australia's first bank, was founded. And where did it start? In Mary Reibey's house in Macquarie Place in Sydney. This wasn't just a drawing room novelty, it was the first organisational home of a bank that would become the backbone of Australian finance. Today we know it as Westpac. Think about that. A former convict, a woman, her home became the birthplace of Australia's first bank. In a society that expected convicts to remain at the bottom, Mary propelled herself to the top. But she didn't hoard her success. She became known for her charity and philanthropy work, supporting schools, churches and community causes around Sydney. When she died in 1855, Mary left behind property, wealth and an economic legacy most settlers never achieved. More than a century later, in 2001, she was posthumously inducted into the Victorian Honour Roll of Women, recognising her leadership, enterprise and contribution to society. Today her face is on the $20 note, not as a reminder of her punishment, but of her resilience, reinvention and achievement. Mary Reibey didn't just arrive in Australia, she helped build its economy. And that is a story worth remembering.